Welcome to Sundays with Sam. And Sam. I'm your host, Sam Bear.
I'm your co-host, Sam Silverman. And wow, if only you all were here just now.
Oh God.
I'm not a very coordinated person. Not dexterous. Fine motor. Absolutely, I can fold origami like the best of them, but I'm not very coordinated in other ways. And then it's really wonderful when you meet somebody like Samantha who makes you feel so dexterous and so capable and demonstrates this on a regular basis. So well done.
Hey, happy to help.
Yeah, Sam was trying to do a live on Instagram, but she wanted to do a live with both of our phones on there.
I wanted 2 accounts filming.
Yeah, you did. And
for a second we had it.
For a second we had it, but what did I tell you would happen immediately?
You were like, there's going to be an echo.
A
reverb, yeah.
Yeah, and was there?
Listen, I am an experiential learner. So yes, there was.
I was about to say that. If you were going to say yes, I think our audience is probably pretty smart, so they think they know that was an obvious yes.
Everybody's brain works a little bit different.
Yeah, and some work better than others.
Different.
Yeah.
One of us makes a living making people feel better. Another one makes a living tearing people down.
I don't get paid to do that on Sundays though. So that's the difference.
That's your day off.
Yeah, exactly. This is my day
All
off.
the darkness comes out.
Yeah, this isn't Mondays with Sam. Yeah,
this isn't Mondays with Sam. This is Sundays with Sam. This is
Sundays and feelings are out the window. Yeah. Man, I've been right so many times today, and that's really wonderful for me.
Do you want to say the first time you were right?
I actually prefer it if you said it.
Okay. Darn. So,
it's so much better.
Sip your freaking coffee.
I'm gonna watch the camera because I want to see it from the audience's angle. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it from my angle here. Although, yeah, which will make you more uncomfortable, me watching it this way or this way? Either way, just go.
Either way, it's all in control.
Just go for it. Tell them about my brilliance.
We weren't using your microphone. No, I'm just kidding. So I got engaged. Actually,
congratulations.
Thank you. Still engaged. Not a recent one, but I got engaged a year ago. And within that year, obviously, we told you are. Just a reminder, you're the officiant. You have plans.
Oh, I'm familiar with it. I just make sure that they know.
They know, yes. So Sam is very involved.
To the camera.
All right. Sam is very involved, and so he knows about the engagement, obviously. And Sam's been married for 5 years.
It will be 5 in June.
It will.
Yes.
Okay. Pop quiz will be 5 in June.
Yeah.
And he's been with his wife for. Oh God.
It will be 15 in October.
Thank you for them. I don't need to know these numbers. Sam knows the numbers. I get close, okay? I at least know who he is. Yeah, they need to know these numbers. I know who he is, who his wife is, and how many kids he has. So that I got those numbers, okay?
You do not know how many kids I have.
That I'm aware of that you have with your wife. You might not know how many kids you. Okay, we're not going to get into that. So my story is, I got engaged and I.
Congratulations.
It's a trigger phrase, and I was very excited to say the word fiance. I used it a lot. I think like most people do when they first get engaged. Congratulations. And I use it a lot. And I would correct Sam. I think he was suggesting like, oh, you should just say wife because you're going to get tired of saying fiance. It's going to be easier for you and your life if you say wife. And he was like, him and his wife, Kelly, both started.
She has a name, just so you know.
Yeah, I was like, we've said the name. Private Practice Pro. Shout out, follow her. Unsponsored, but we love it.
She doesn't need our. She is so much more popular than both of us combined. She does not need anything.
I know.
Related to us.
But anyway, I gave it to her freely.
She doesn't deserve it. Anyway, talk about your future marriage rather than my failing one.
So he told me that he and his wife both started calling each other like referring to each other as husband and wife and married. How many months before you actually got married?
I think
Or
the
was
better
it pretty?
question is how many months after we got engaged.
Oh,
And
really? It was that soon?
yeah,
Okay.
and that was what I told you, is that it would be within 2 months it would start to become
Gotcha.
pretty comfortable that you'd want to start saying
Just
wife,
saying
and
it.
that like fiance was going to be a fad because you were going to basically go from girlfriend, 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 accidentally saying girlfriend, to then wanting to say wife, and that it was just going to be a meaningless phrase. The other reason I said it was going to be an issue is because it leads to follow up questions. When are you getting
It
married?
does.
Where's the
Yeah.
ring? Other things like that, you know? And so you just,
The proposal.
all that type of stuff.
And initially, I loved answering those questions. I still do. I really love like my proposal story because I wanted like a story moment, and I was really clear on just some of those things. Like I wanted to feel special and certain things I wanted.
This is when you can stop talking to them. You've already admitted your wrongdoing. Now you talk to me.
Anyway, the point is, this morning I texted Sam and I was like, I need a hard out by 11:45 because I have lunch plans with the wifey, and I am not married yet.
And just for clarity's sake,
go ahead.
Was this the first time
No.
that you had made that mistake with me in the recent past?
No, it's just, it is fun to say. Like, it's very exciting. No, it was not.
Yeah.
But
don't you
this
think that
morning,
don't you think that it like cheapens it too a little bit? Like, don't you feel like fiance is like I always think of like runaway bride, like it's like, oh well, it could still happen, or like Pam and what's his face, Roy on The Office, where it's like they're engaged indefinitely. It's like you guys know you're gonna get married.
Yeah,
Doesn't there?
Yeah,
you're not just some bullshit fad couple.
Yeah.
But anybody can be engaged. Anybody can be engaged. It takes a full-on idiot to get married, and most people aren't brave enough to go through with that. And you are.
I do think not most people are brave enough to go through with it. I don't think fiance is cheapened. I still enjoy that, but I do feel myself much more like being comfortable saying wife and wifey. I think I say it more in context when I text you because maybe like even right away you were like, you're gonna want to say this. Less that it feeds your ego and more that I feel a part of you gets maybe it is ego, but I feel more of the giddy part that you're like, yeah. But this morning specifically, when I referred to her as wifey, I knew that I was gonna get some backlash from you for it, and I almost didn't do it. But I was like, no, fuck that guy. That's what I want to call her.
So when you say giddy aspect, you mean like me being excited for you rather than for me?
I think there's some happiness for me in there, but I definitely think there's a lot that you're like happy that you were right.
No, totally. I mean, that's
that's why I say giddy, like a little. You're like, oh, but you're like,
I'm happy as a clam at high tide.
Are they happy at that time?
So the saying goes.
Is that the saying? I didn't know there was a second part. I just stopped at as happy as a clam.
Well, you should learn. That's like stopping at like.
I will not.
Like that's like when in Rome and not understanding the context. Like you sound like Anchorman right now.
That's fine.
Ron Burgundy.
That's fine.
I'm Ron Burgundy. So tell us about your update, Sam. Okay. Other than me being correct and you learning how correct I am, what else has been going on?
Yeah, let us catch up. I was in Colombia for several days.
South Carolina?
Colombia, the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cartagena, Colombia, to be specific.
Okay, that's not a neighborhood in Columbia, South Carolina. That's a city within the country.
The country of Colombia.
Oh,
there. Okay,
I see.
I was in Cartagena, Colombia. Feel better?
Listen, only one of us is Latinx, so only one of us can be embarrassed by your pronunciation.
I'm saying it how
I'm trying to help you.
I know you are.
Yeah, I'm being
white savior.
I'm being the great white hope in this case in connecting you with your roots.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So you're in Colombia.
I was in Colombia this is great. Thank God we're only doing this for a little bit. It took us 2 hours to get set up.
I like how it took me that long to break character with it though. That's good. All right. So anyway.
So I did a batchcation.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I will say I've also prepped my bachelorette party as well as the few female friends who were like
Just
just
to interrupt
outside.
you like how
Go
we're
for it.
floating more and more downhill.
We're just
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, that's okay. You'll be able to fix that.
It's fine. Yeah.
That I actually think is something she can fix. So
she can fix all the things.
Yeah, so they won't understand what's going on there. Yeah.
I prepped them for a year. I said I would like to do an international trip. I'd like several days, which is why I kept referring to it as like a batchcation. You know, you're going to need to take some vacation time. I also was really clear from the beginning that no is an appropriate answer. What I'm asking for ranges from like mildly outrageous to middle of the road expensive, kind of depending on what you as an individual dictate as expensive or not. And so I put all that out there because I'm no is an acceptable answer. I'm very okay with that. I also think if you ask somebody to spend a lot of money on something that isn't like a requirement, I think for me, I'm okay here now. And I like to set the groundwork that it's okay. Like I don't know all of my friends' individual financial circumstances. And I also know things can come up that are very expensive that have to be dealt with money that maybe you had to go on a trip that you're like, well, now I can't. And I wish I could, but I can't. So I was very lucky. Almost everybody came. The only two people who couldn't, one has 3 children. So that's like a big thing for her to leave for that long. And the other would have been flying internationally already, like from another country outside of the United States.
So the purpose of this trip was to destroy families, break them apart.
That was the goal, to celebrate me starting one.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. 2 of my bridesmaids came up from San Diego. They asked if they could meet me in LA so we could all fly together, and I thought that was great because
That's adorable.
Yeah, I hadn't planned on asking.
It's like the start of Bridesmaids.
It was great. It was it was fantastic, and we went to the lounge. Like awesome. I'm a big fan of the lounge when you've got 3 hours or more.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna probably pick an airline and like accrue points and try and get into that way. But it's $60. Oh, it raised. Actually, was $75 a person. Inflation.
Wow.
But no one was tending the bar, and when my sorority sister went up to ask, like the drinks are free, but we were like you can't just ragamuffin. Like there should be someone semi-monitored. No. The woman who was,
you should pour yourself.
Yeah, kind of just keeping things clean, and she literally said, "Oh no, have as much as you want."
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah,
we just kept being like, "We're not flying the plane." We had a great time.
You had an awesome time.
We had an awesome time. Yeah, kind of pre-gaming. They did have they had a pho bar.
Okay.
So yeah, we had good food. We were very happy. We thought it was open later than it was, but
it's true. Colombia is known for its.
This was in LA.
I understand that, but you're just setting the mood right.
Okay. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. So we all flew together. That was really good. I did also realize how much I'd forgotten about international travel. Like some of the things that usually I wouldn't have gotten. I don't want to say swindled, but caught up in. Like we arrived and someone was like, "Let me help you with your bags," and I'm like, "Oh my god, absolutely!" And I forgot you have to just tip the random guy who does very little. What's happening? Oh no! Am I not on? Did I unplug myself? Okay, stop messing with the cord, Sam. Okay, me, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Okay. Well, you heard what you heard and you missed what you missed. So
I think it probably came through okay, and if it didn't, it didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah.
More work for the VA. Now I want to get clipped up because she's gonna do a whole bunch of every version of you saying the VA will do this.
You know what this just ruined? That whole bit, unless she clips it out.
We'll see if she does.
Yeah. So anyway, every time you say international travel or international destination or something like that, it just reminds me of some older white guy trying to be politically correct but not knowing how and calling people international people.
International people.
I'm sorry, that's all I can hear over and over again when you say international destination, international travel.
Oh, I hear that. I was more like, because...
No, listen, it's completely appropriate.
Okay.
Every single thing you're saying with here, it's not. My mind
but that's
is,
where your mind,
is the one that's messing with that. Yeah.
Okay, well, I will say the reason that I was trying to specify is because for me, most of the bachelorettes that I've gone to have all been within the United States. Most have been within California or like the tri-state within California. So not too far off, but
What is the tri-state within California?
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Whoops. I meant sorry, not within California. I meant like Nevada, California, Arizona.
Okay.
Like
So within the Southwest, adjacent to
yeah,
California.
we're not counting.
No, that's
North.
fair.
That's where most of the bachelorettes I've gone to. Those were their locations have been.
Yeah. So you
Las Vegas, Phoenix.
You wanted to make it clear
California.
that you all were going to be passport.
You need a passport. Yeah. And I found out one of my bridesmaids. This was her first international trip ever. She got a brand new passport.
That's awesome. Good
yeah. She had been to Mexico, but she lives in San Diego.
That's not a real country.
No, not that. She just had driven across the border. Like she'd never flown internationally before. She hadn't been somewhere for.
That's still international travel. Do you not respect any type of international borders within this conversation?
She herself said it was her first international trip, so I'm quoting her.
Okay. Why are you putting your friend on blast for being not so smart?
Get it out. Get out of here.
I know, I'm just playing.
I know. I thought it was sweet that she went through the rigmarole.
Which friend is this?
This is my friend who is a scientist.
What's her name?
Amanda.
Okay, I just want to know. Because I'm going to be involved in the wedding, and so I'm going to know Amanda, and I'm going to have to explain to her about the unfortunate situation and the boundaries of Mexico and the United States.
But she didn't need a passport to go to Mexico.
No, listen, I don't want to make it political or anything like that. I'm just going to.
I'm not making it political. I'm just saying she didn't need a passport to go into Mexico.
Okay, that's cool.
She just needed a California ID.
Is that true?
It used to be.
Not anymore.
I don't think anymore. But yeah, when I was in college in San Diego, we would we'd go to Mexico for the night and then come back. And
nice.
Just needed your ID.
Mazel.
Thank you. Yeah. One time I did. I mean, many times. But one time I did get drunk and freaked out in line walking back across. I'm like, Santa Barbara is Spanish. They're not gonna believe me. My friend was like, "You are literally crazy. We're going to Sandy. What is wrong? No, they don't want you right now.
That's
You're
embarrassing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I was drunk. I was
freaked,
and I was underage. But for America,
they will kick you over the border.
Yeah, she like keep acting like this. Yeah. Nobody wants to keep you right now.
Here.
You're fine. Yeah. As we were in Colombia, it was great. It was a lot of fun. What I requested, I know, Colombia. What I wanted was a luxe experience. I told my maid of honor, those people wherever you go.
Double X with an E.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes. When you go to different places, and I mean, we have this in Santa Barbara. I think most cities have places where you can upgrade. I'm like, I want to be those upgrade people, like who have the cabana, who have someone running them drinks, who have someone, because I'm never that person.
That's so funny. You say that we have in Santa Barbara, and I guess I believe you. I just that is not how I experience life.
Right.
Yeah.
I usually don't. I love Lux adjacent. Like I feel like your wife and I are close, and we do like nice things, but we also like roundabout ways to get there.
Yeah, you like bargain bougie.
Oh, so much. But this was one thing. I just wanted everyone to feel. I wanted everyone to feel really just taken care of.
That's
by
wonderful.
Everyone else, and not us having to navigate those things. Because all of my friends who came, and the ones who didn't as well, they're all very accomplished. They work very hard. And that was the other reason where I kept pushing, like, you can take the time, because I look where they're at. They're not taking big vacations. I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, I want all of us to have a really great time. So I got a lot of attention. I do. I love it. Oh, I vacation great.
You vacation great, and you vacation often. Like,
I do. I don't have kids.
It's fantastic. Like, every single week, it's like, oh, Haley and I are going away here. Haley and I are going away here. Oh, we're just going to take a drive out to 80 miles away to 800 miles away. It doesn't matter. Everywhere. Yeah. It's amazing.
I think
Good on you.
Thank you. I do love vacationing. I like traveling. I think it's a good reset. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to share this thing about the food. Are
we going to get to like
your update? Anything else? Or are we just going to talk about Colombia? What's your question?
No, I'm just a little bit worried how racist you're about to get.
Not at all. I don't think so.
You be the judge.
I know. You be the judge.
Is Sam racist?
I wasn't as impressed impressed with the food as I think I wanted to be.
Why were you not as impressed with the food as you wanted to be?
I think maybe there was no like signature dish that really stood out. And when I travel, I love to eat the local food. Like food and travel to me are really symbiotic. I thought the food was good. I think I wanted more spice, more heat.
Do you
Their
think?
fish was great.
Do you think that
Some of the places I went.
because you
Wanted the
went
Lux.
the one in the Lux? It reminds me of another, not a 5-letter word, but a 6-letter word that
What is the word?
gringo. And
Shut up! That's so funny. No,
yeah,
no.
like because you're living the gringo experience, you're going there. You're not gonna
It
have
did
spice.
feel
You're
a
not
little
gonna
more
have.
actually because
Yeah.
I don't usually travel like that. I prefer more of just where I am. I did go to some local spots
translation,
though.
when you said I want to travel Lux, what it really means is I want to travel like a colonizer.
A little bit, I guess. Yeah, I'm not like saying that was the vibe, but looking at it after the fact, I'm like, oh,
I want to cut right here where I'm just going like it's like playing that music that's like and it's zooming in on me as she's like trying to excuse herself. So just like I'll give you a couple angles there, Alex. All right. Anyway, so
we did go to what felt very like local restaurants. One was the first night. I didn't have time to. I wasn't googling anything. I was like, I'm gonna go where people are gathered in a place that has a whole menu in Spanish. I want tacos. I want a margarita. That's what I want.
Are tacos a traditional Colombian dish?
I was more like taco aesthetic. I just wanted food, and I just wanted something easy. So
I'm sorry, I won't make this whole episode about making you.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I did not look up like traditional Colombian food. I was airing on that several of my sorority sisters are from Colombia and regularly cooked like traditional dishes. But they would also often be at like a potluck styles events with our sorority where it would be intermingled with food from like Guatemala, Mexico, sandwiches from California. Like, so some of the dishes were all kind of around together. I guess maybe tacos aren't a traditional Colombian.
I don't know. I mean, they could.
There were a lot of restaurants that said they were.
Sam sorority sisters, comment below. Did you make her the white version or not?
Ouch! Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know.
But there were a lot of restaurants we went to where we ate all the food. Like the food was delicious.
No, I'm sure it was great.
I don't know, but I thought about that after when I came back. I'm like, oh, I bet one of the reasons that some of like things that I prefer in my food wasn't there was because of some of the places we went. And I don't knock that place because the experience was what I wanted. Like we really didn't have to do much to get served. And that's what I wanted. I wanted someone refilling our drinks, coming over. What do you need? What can I get for you? And that was what I wanted.
Totally. There's a lot of people want a lot of different things. And there are some people that want to travel internationally and not interact with the locals. And that is, I'm just kidding.
There's some truth in that.
No, there is. Yeah. I mean, no, that's, I'm not saying that's who you were intentionally. And
it wasn't intentional, but yes, I mean, some of that came through. But in general, I had a great time.
That's good.
We had a great space. Everyone got on. All of my bridesmaids have known each other at least a decade.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah, because I've invited all of them on different big trips. So while they individually may not have like a strong friendship, no one was meeting for the first time, which is good. Yeah, like I didn't know, are they going to get along? No, everyone.
Yeah, it was okay.
Everyone was great. Yeah.
Who are the two that hate each other the most? Don't answer that. I'm just kidding. No. I'm just kidding. Don't even think about it. I know you're going to think about it, but don't think about it. Tell me later. Anyway.
And then I went to Panama. I did a layover trip in Panama. Do you know about these?
I did after you told me about it. But not before. But it makes sense.
Yeah, you have a 7 to 8 hour layover.
You just cross the canal.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It was really cool. I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. Of like, is this gonna live up to the hype?
Did it?
Yes,
it did.
So much. I mean, You gotta see it, Sam. It's so cool. There's no, I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible to see.
It is.
I either am downplaying it or not playing it up enough with that, but it is incredible.
No, I think you took your colonial trip
Shut
and you saw one of the most glorious colonial monuments.
Listen, it's
Yikes.
knock it over.
Yeah, I deserved that.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to see. Oh, yeah, but the history with it is wild. Do you know how much cash? Because I think I told you this. We'll see if you remember. The transfers hands on a daily basis. It's in the millions.
Yeah.
Do you throw a guess out?
$455 million.
Wow, that's too much. 12 to 14 million every day.
Wow.
In US dollars, in cash.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yes, just to get through.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean it was very cool to see. I know and some of the history I learned about it from our tour guide I was like, oh, I don't remember learning about that.
Yeah,
thank you for telling me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and I learned the Panamanians that current big fans of people from the U.S. because usually when I travel, most people can tell. Usually when I speak English, that I'm from the United States. I get a lot of slack because I'll say from California, which I am from. People tend to be like, "Oh, okay."
They're a little bit more. They include us
in some. We're like Canada Plus, like, or accepted, or
no. I think that because historically, California, Texas, Arizona were part of Mexico. That I think that it like kind of and there's tremendous Mexican population there that it kind of makes sense that anybody in Central America would kind of like see California as theoretically part of Central America in reality.
Right. Yeah. So I usually get a lot of slack in general just traveling with that. Also because I can speak Spanish, and anyway, the point I had a point.
But Panamanians, I think, love the U.S. I think part of it too, I think the Panama Canal is becoming more obsolete, unfortunately, in terms of trade. But I think it's still a big thing. But but in terms of like, there are some places with international trade and other things where they're not needing to utilize that as much to the same degree. And so I think that, but the U.S.'s relationship with that, while kind of like colonial and oppressive, has probably brought a fair amount of wealth to that area. Yeah, and at least in certain pockets, Yeah, and so I bet a lot of people, they appreciate that for that reason.
They do, and it was
whether or not they should appreciate Americans in reality or not, I really don't know.
For sure, because like I said, I'm used to traveling and receiving some vitriol or eye roll. Oh, you're from America, as if I had any more control over where I was born as the person who's rolling their eyes. So this was one of the first times where our tour guide, who's Panamanian. Oh, I did. You're right. I could have chosen. Everything's a choice, right?
That's right.
He was actually saying that Panama currently is more angry with Canadians.
I really thought you were going to say Canada for a second. I was getting so excited, but yeah, Canadians.
No, with Canadians.
All right, that's cool. Yeah.
To not
Why is that reason?
Well, there's a water situation. Canada had been stealing water from Panama. And then they got caught, and then they denied it, and and
that's bad. When was that?
Recently, like there's been he was saying within the last 3 months, there's been all of these protests, and it's been a very significant issue.
Yeah.
With Panama, with Canada, with their trade agreements, with all kinds of things. He's like, oh, Panamanians, I mean, sweeping statements, but he's like, no, we are not fans of Canadians. If we had to, like, who do we like more or less right now, Americans or Canadians? We like Americans more right now. And I was like, I never hear that.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder whether, and this is purely speculative and not based on anything in reality, I wonder whether, because we are so egregious on the international stage and just such blowhards and do terrible things and lots of stuff like that, whether our very similar brothers of the North get away with more shady shit because then like people realize,
right,
because like it's like because we are very similar countries. I mean, there's a lot of differences and a lot of things like that. But from a cultural standpoint, there is a tremendous similarity. I mean,
there really is.
There's a reason why. Yeah, I mean, we don't
Have
need
you
to get
been
into
to,
that.
have you visited Canada before?
Not a lot. I've been like only to like border towns and stuff like that when I crossed there. So I haven't really like
I've been there a couple
flown
times.
in. Yeah,
it is very similar. Can confirm.
Yeah, and so anyway, like I wonder whether they get away with more for that reason.
Ooh, I love where your head's at, because that's, I had never considered that.
It could be complete bullshit. I really have no idea. But yeah,
we're not putting like a lot of
no. This is like a total theory. But like I wonder. I don't know.
I like this theory.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was oh my God, Sam. I don't think I told you this. I was stopped for smuggling weapons.
That's awesome. What did you smuggle? Pepper spray?
No, but I have been stopped for that before.
Yeah.
No, I was fine flying from the United States to Colombia with this quote unquote weapon.
What was it?
It was a fork. A reusable metal fork.
Interesting.
Yes. But I was allowed to keep the metal chopsticks. Apparently those were not seen as a weapon.
I could see how the prongs could be an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. When the guy said I needed to take this, I said, yeah, of course, I don't do whatever you need, but
it's a little bit ridiculous, yeah.
I just still think that metal chopsticks could also be a weapon if you really wanted it to.
I think they probably could. I think
fork is higher up on the weapon scale.
A fork is higher up on the weapon scale. I think that part of the problem with like metal chopsticks is like how different is that
and they weren't
from a
shaped.
pen or anything like that. Okay. So at that point, we're getting to like, are you gonna take away all writing implements?
I gotcha.
You know, and so
I wasn't planning on using it as a weapon.
I fully believe you. And the part that I think it's silly is if somebody is really successfully going to use a fork as a weapon, they're probably somebody who's going to be able to use a myriad of other things that will not be confiscated. And so like that's like
fair.
That's a little bit like jumping to conclusions, but I just feel like if I don't know, maybe like the random person can stab another random person in the jugular with a fork. I don't know. I have no idea, but it just seems a little bit silly.
Yeah. So that
But that was your trip.
That was the trip, and everybody did get a little bit of travel tummy.
Oh.
Everyone got a little travel tummy, but not enough to interfere with the trip. And everyone, I think I probably actually got the sickest coming back. But
well, good.
Yeah, serves me right.
Yeah, exactly. For wanting that Lux experience.
I know.
Can you imagine how sick you got if you didn't have the Lux experience?
I probably wouldn't have gotten sick at all, to be honest.
I think you would have been destroyed.
I don't usually get any sort of traveler ailment.
Yeah, usually when you're living on the high hog. Yeah.
As I said,
this
is the
hog,
first time.
High on the hog, yeah.
Just because I vacation more than you.
That's true. That's okay. Yeah. No, listen, I gotta throw the like, oh, you live a privileged life at you whenever I can, because it's hard to hide mine.
That's kind of my biggest updates for that big international trip. Oh, well, like I said, so the things I forgot, like the snippets that I learned from it or got from it, I forgot certain things about traveling that in a different life, 10 years ago, I used to international travel with much more frequency.
Travel international.
That's right. I was like, that sounded weird. I used to travel internationally with much more frequency. So certain things that are offered to people right off the plane, I'm usually like, oh, no, because I know they're going to want a tip. And I'm like, I don't actually need this thing. But I was so just, oh my God, we got off the plane and this guy runs up. So very nice, really, oh, let me get your bags. And I was like, oh my God, of course, absolutely. And I know. And so he pushes it. I know, he pushes them all the way to our taxi. And then he's like, do you have tip?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
better get
oh man, I
cash.
totally forgot. Thankfully, my crew is great. My maid of honor looks at me and she's like, I'll have her, okay, US dollars up, here you go. So we tipped him and I was like, okay, now I have to remember this. But there were little things that happened. And so my friend's Amanda's first international flight, big
Yeah.
trip. Tell me why. Don't tell me why. I don't want to hear your reason. Tell me, but don't tell me. We're going out to a nice dinner. Like, we looked at this great restaurant. And
By the way, that's such like a great concept
like
of
a
like
fancy
no.
restaurant.
The idea of like tell me but don't tell me. It's like so funny because it's like I'm a psychiatrist and so it just makes perfect sense. It's like I want your info, but like don't do not tell me what's wrong with Amanda. Anyway, sorry.
It's not her what's wrong with us, my friends collectively. So we requested a cab that was big enough for our group, and what we got was a cab, but I just need you to picture 4 full-grown women in their 30s who all are gainfully employed, crammed into this cab, which meant there were 3 of us in the back, 1 in the front. We had to throw Amanda on top, and we're driving, and the taxi driver has no problem with this. He's like, absolutely. And we're just laughing because the rest of us have done this at some point in our lives, traveling internationally or being ragamuffins in high school. Mm-hmm. Amanda had made it through, would have made it probably the rest of her life not having this experience if it wasn't.
She had never like piled into a cab where you can't fit?
Wow. No. So we're laughing, and she was a great sport. Everyone was. Yeah. But about 5 minutes in, I'm like, why didn't we just get a second? Why did we think that all the cabs were gone? Why didn't we wait 4 more minutes? Like, we could have solved this. And I said, you know what? I just was laughing because it was kind of silly. And I'm like, wow. But you know what, Amanda? This is a part, at least for me, I think of some international travel rite of passage where you're so excited to get to wherever you're going. So you're like, oh, we gotta just go. We gotta just get in. And I'm like, you know what? Even if the rest of you want to all ride together on the way back, that's totally cool. Don't want to break up the vibe, even on my vacation. I'm getting a second cab. Sam is not doing this all the way back. And we were all, at that moment, we're like, why didn't even one of us take a breath and go, oh, let's just get a second cab? But we didn't because there was that frenetic excitement. And we're like, oh, this is what we got. And anyway, she only had to sit like that for 10 minutes.
I mean, yeah, that frenetic excitement. It sounds to me more like a basic problem solving skills issue.
But, we had skipped it. There was we were just like, well, we don't have a solution.
Yeah, you can't implement what you can't access. We had been drinking. Well, that's an update on Sam's life, and we are out of time, so we're not going to hear about my life.
There's not much to hear. He doesn't vacation.
Yeah, I don't vacation, and I'm a worthless person. Well, this has been Sundays with Sam.
Everybody's brain works a little bit different. So thank you for tuning in, and as always, I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm also here, and I'm Sam.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, you don't have